the school allowed him to accept me on academic probation.
Thought I would be Jadakiss' son, the fellow celebrity kid at the school. I was that.
This is important how public school guidance counselor, particularly white folks, demonize poor black people who they don't think can do it.
Cause I'm your sister and always for you. And I don't know what I'd ever do without you from the beginning.
Hey y'all, welcome back to our channel. Today I have two special guests with me.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Jae'won, the revolutionary.
Oh wow. Oh wow. We'll get into that a little later. But
Wait, I'm actually the revolutionary. Okay.
Rebecca and Jae'won are both childhood friends of mine. And coincidentally, we all went to school in the AUC.
Is that coincidentally? Did we plan that?
Claude.
We might have planned it because we went on the college tour
we went on the
together.
college tour, yeah. And we said on the college tour, we said we was going to Atlanta. And I said I was going to Spelman.
Yeah.
Remember I bought the Spelman
And
shirt
then
at
you
the
ditched me.
store?
And I bought the Clark sweats. And I bought the Clark sweats.
Let me tell y'all why I didn't go to Spelman. I never applied to Spelman. And the reason why was because I think at the time I was very, what's it called? Women who are like, I don't want to be at an all-girls school. I think it was a form of embodied sexism. It was also because when I started the application for colleges, I had transferred from Roosevelt to New Rochelle. They didn't even think I would get into Clark because Clark's GPA at the time was a 2.8. I transferred from Rose to go to New Rochelle. I think I had like a 2.3.
Oh, that's why she's an elitist. It shows.
Even though I never hone in on scores, whatever, I just think that this is an obvious example on why GPAs aren't that important. Cause look where you are now. Actually, give us some. This is actually give them a little bit more background on what you do now and who you are. And
I'm the shit. I am the person you want to know. So I went to Clark Atlanta. I graduated and then went to go get my master's degree.
You gotta know that before we get any further. If you wanna lead us,
I want to say this because I just published an article. I am not only a PhD student at Princeton Theological Seminary.
Article will be in the description below.
Period. I'm not only a PhD student, but I'm a whole writer. I'm a writer. I write. So
relax, Maya Angelou.
It feels good to say that I'm a writer because I always thought about who am I? And the only description that makes sense is that I'm a writer.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Heard you. And then we got Jay coming to Clark because that's my son.
But Jay is a different generation. Jay is not our generation. He's 2 years after us.
He's young. He's young. They probably know Jay. The people that go to Clark and Spelman right now probably know Jay.
I was in school with these young ladies. They just
But we were
old as
juniors
shit.
when we got there.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, tell you what you need to know about my rank and my clout that I had within the 3 schools.
Oh wow.
Okay. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, a chartering member of the Collegiate 100 chapter at Clark Atlanta University for the Men's Initiative Program, second attendant to Mr. Junior at Spelman when I did their pageant, and I had a lot of pull over at Morehouse College when Ian was the president over there for the SGA student body. So we're not gonna get into what I did, but aside from that, before all of that, I was Jae'won. You feel me? When I got there, I was Jae'won. Thought I would be Jadakiss' son, the fellow celebrity kid at the school. I was that. Graduated with a 3.20 after all freshman year and having a terrible GPA. You feel me? Top black, philanthropist, billionaire, and change maker, and doing for my community out of the heart and not for the recognition like this one. Thank you.
And so because Jay mentioned community, let's just talk about what that even means. For those who don't know, I'm from Yonkers, New York. Also from Yonkers, New York. Also
from Maryland.
She likes to claim she's from multiple places. However, a bulk of her childhood was in Yonkers, New York.
Wait, but can we go back real quick to Jay? I just want to say that one of my fears of Jay being at Clark was that he was going to get caught up in the identity of being Jadakiss' son. And he's not capping when he says that he's actually known as being Jae'won. And it's not just the Jae'won who's lit. He's known for he presented in Dr. Bass's class as a scholar. He did a phenomenal job. So I really do want to affirm that Jay is really a scholar. He is not just this celebrity son. He earned his place at Clark.
Thank you for the praises. I appreciate the
I didn't go to Clark, but I definitely believe it. I've seen. But anyway, I was gonna say, since we are talking about that, I guess what did you do? What was your college experience like where you felt like you had to be intentional about that and where you had to kind of make a name for yourself? Like, what was it like coming in as a freshman?
That's good.
Knowing like, hey.
How did you get out of the stigma of being a kid's son?
Alright, so for me, it was different. Because for those who don't know, Clark Atlanta has their own Instagram page. Like, so they put me up. They put up a screenshot of when my father posted me, like when I chose the school I was going to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they tried to make it a big deal. Like when I got there, like I flew under the radar. Like my father and grew his hair back. A lot of people didn't know it was me, but they knew, they figured out somehow. But I just stayed to myself the first, like I say, month or so. I stayed to myself. I had one best friend who went out to Atlanta also. We was in school together. But I stayed under the radar, and then like people start seeing like I was a nice person, like I'm cool, like I'm a vibe. And then people realized like, nah, he's a good person, like, feel me? She wanted me on her campaign team.
Are you first gen?
I am first gen.
Okay, so that's my question. Like I'm first gen as well. So
we're first gen.
We're all first gen.
We're all
first gen.
But he's a different kind of first gen. We first gen.
First gen.
Nobody in my family went to college. Celebrity kids don't usually go to college.
I know, we're proud of you, but we got it out the mud. Like you gotta just.
Tell me, y'all the same people. Y'all the same people that was just in a group chat saying why not use your connections.
We affirm Jay because Jay, don't get me wrong, Jay did what nobody in his family did, and that's important.
Very important.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of first gen.
It's not.
It is a different type of first gen.
You know why? Because most celebrity kids are spoiled. They don't think about going to school. They think they
Jay is young first to the team.
And that's why it's a different kind of first gen. Our first gen is, hey, I'm going to get to a place of mobility that my family could never reach.
Could never even imagine.
I want to know what it was like for you. Like I've spoke about my college experience tons of times, so they know what it was like for me on campus. What was it like for you as Rebecca? You know, I've done the college tour, but I don't exactly know what to expect when I'm stepping on Clark Atlanta's campus. Like
what was the acceptance part?
Everything. How did you feel? And we got time.
Okay, so I come from poverty. And the reason why that's important to be named because the process of going to college is one where you realize that you're in poverty without you even knowing it. So it's like you don't even know that you can't qualify for loans because you don't even know what credit is. You know, you don't even know that, you know, you can't take out credits, things like that. So I transferred from Rose. So the what's it called? The principal of Roosevelt High School in Yonkers, New York. She was an AKA, and she had told me that if I wanted to go to college, at the time Roosevelt was getting ready to transfer to early college, when she was saying if I had any chance of getting into college off the reputation of the school, I would have to transfer to another school. So I actually transferred to New Rochelle High School. So I graduated from New Rochelle High School. And what happened was, during the time of me being there, it was my senior year, and I was studying for the SAT. I was taking night school classes to make up for my grade, and I think the guidance counselor at New Rochelle was named Mr. Curley. I could be wrong, but I think that was his name. And he flat out told me that you should go to Westchester Community College because you don't have the grades to get into college.
It makes sense. She was because she was downplayed. Like I had the similar experience. I went to Iona Prep, and the guidance counselor was like,
Iona Prep?
Yeah, look. I asked him like, yo, what I need to get in Columbia? And he dead laughed in my face. Like I just got up and left his office. Like, you feel me?
This is important how public school guidance counselor, particularly white folks, demonize poor black people who they don't think can do it.
We all have a similar story in that respect.
What this means is that it's systemic. My guidance counselor did not think I was gonna go to college. Remember, we stopped there. So what ended up happening was I called every day at the same hour.
For real?
That's
what I did with Spelman. That's why I got the scholarship. I called every day. That's the Yonkers energy. That's the Yonkers energy because I called every day.
I called Clark Atlanta every day, and I had, mind you, I didn't have the 2.8, and I was just like, I wrote my statement, and I was like, I'm a good person, give me a chance. Like it was one of those, and I remember I called one day, and a lady picked up the phone, and I was like, I felt something in my spirit was like, no, hang up until you hear the voice of the person who gave you the voucher, because I got a voucher for my application. So I called them, and I kept calling. I hung up on everybody. So I hung up every day until I heard that voice again. And then when I heard it, I was like, I am Rebecca Wilcox, and I really need to get to college. And he worked with me. His name was Nicholas Boyd, and he worked with me every day, and I called him every day. And so he ended up doing this thing where the school allowed him to accept me on academic probation. They would not include my electives, only include my major courses. And my major courses I had done really well in.
Oh wow, I've never even heard of anything like this.
We didn't know how we was gonna pay for it. I mean, my family, my mother didn't have credit. And so I just remember her, she was very prayerful. She called her best friend one day and was like, I need to take out a $10,000 loan to get Rebecca enrolled in school, and I promise to pay you back.
Oh, wow.
And if you would just let us use your credit. And she did. And I got
her best friend let her use it?
She's a good friend.
Wow, that's a good friend.
Yeah, she let her use her credit. And then my freshman year, I was still short again because she only had to get a loan for the first semester. And when she dropped me off, she said, Rebecca, you're gonna be responsible for getting enrolled after this because I can't.
Because you can't. Yeah.
Right. And I remember I just like...
That's the extra burden we were talking about before too.
So I ended up every semester just getting scholarships because like I was very active in school. You know, I was Greek. I was very close with administration. So that's how I paid for school, in the guys. Like I worked really hard.
So Jae'won has talked a little bit about how he came into his experiences. Rebecca has talked about her experiences as a freshman and beyond. And I guess I wanted to know, like, how did you guys come into your majors? How did you guys decide what organizations you wanted to do? You both talked about your fraternity and sorority. Like, how do you guys decide you want to do that? Kind of those things.
I came into my major from high school. I talked with my psychology professor. It was an elective, Mr. Houlihan, and I would go to his office instead of going to my guidance counselor, being that he laughed in my face about my GPA.
Was your GPA low at the time?
I was like one of the who went to, if I'd have went to public school, I'd have been like a smart guy, but when I went to private school, it was like,
wait, does a private school make you smarter though? Like, isn't it like, if you get private school education, you're more prepared than public school education?
No, we learned the same shit. We took the same regions and shit like that.
Oh wow.
So what's the point of it being private school?
Money. Capitalism, your favorite thing. But like I was saying, so for me, I came into it from high school knowing I wanted to do psychology. I be wanting to know why people think how they think and stuff like that. I'm the first male that's a Greek in my family. I got a cousin, she's a Delta, but like nobody in my family know what that is.
But we used to talk about it.
And it was more so research, like, you feel me? Like Rebecca can tell you that's just research. You gotta look and see what's for you.
As a freshman, I accidentally ended up in a third. You know how like it's 3-0 whatever? But we don't know that. So I'm taking 1, 2, 3, whatever. So it was like a third level class and it was about sex and domination and it was philosophical.
You didn't know that? You didn't know like a third level class?
I did not know. 1 was first year, 2, I thought it was just like, these are the classes, take whatever you want. No one was helping me.
You didn't know YouTube?
I didn't know YouTube. You learned on YouTube?
It's just crazy because when I think about you, I think about somebody who was like far ahead in the game.
I didn't know that at all.
It's so crazy that you don't know the things that I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know first level 101s, 202s, etc. I took the first semester, I took everything. I had a third year class, first year class, and a second year class, and then it was just like, and obviously I had my required classes, but the third level class was hard. By the time I realized it was third, I couldn't drop it.
So you worked really hard. Even at Spelman, you were a straight A student.
But that was first semester. So after that, yeah. Every time, and then
That was your only B?
No, I got 2. I got B in Spanish.
You ever taken a class at college?
I took a few, and I took entertainment law.
Did you like them?
I loved it.
The reason why I think that's important is because we all went to different schools. So she went to Spelman and we went to Clark Atlanta. And so like if Jae'won went to Morehouse, this would be a different diverse.
Yeah,
but we don't have a Morehouse representation. But
I'd be a square.
But so much of my experience at Morehouse is what I think separates me from me and Jay as a Clark Atlanta student and as like someone who like took most of their classes at Morehouse. This is why I feel like
most, not just a few.
Yeah, I took feminists.
I took all.
That's great.
I had a better religion and philosophy program than Clark.
Basically, your major was there.
Yeah.
Even though like it's like I like Clark, but
my major.
Literally, my major
right.
was Morehouse.
So let me tell you what you said was.
Just can we plug that real quick? I've said this before, but that goes to show where it's like we're all interconnected.
And I think like when it comes down to the concept of an AUC, we're all like we're fam, but when we're actually at the AUC, it's like battlegrounds, right? And most people think that Clark Atlanta is not a smarter class. So you being at Spelman saying that you love classes at Clark, like
I loved it.
It makes me wonder like, is it robust? Is it like what people think Clark is? Because I took 3 classes at Spelman, and taking a class at Spelman let me know that like you all demand the work be done. You know what I'm saying? Crack Atlanta demands a different type of work. It's more of a work of self. Well, we need to get to the real stuff. We haven't even talked about our experiences.
Yes, we did. You can follow me on Instagram
let's stick with the question. So
Jae'won.
Alright, I hope you all enjoyed this video. It's part 1 because Jay and Rebecca want to do it over.
I feel appropriately dressed. Yeah. I'm so Yonkers like the south side of B-Way. Body hurting to the death and still got ties on EA. The 6-barrel, lost barrel, gun smoking young rebels. It's a black cloud, the dust never settle. Know where I'm from, just off of a nigga aura. The bird, same city that Mary J in the door from.